my name is Allie, for those of you who don't know me, and I am the maker behind Crochet in the Mud, where I do both crochet plushies as well as pottery. And it is getting to be time to start prepping for my Pride Market. So I've done this market for the past 2 years, and I did around $3,000 at both markets. It is a 2-day event, and I believe the booth fee is around $400 this year. They did raise it, but I'll put the exact amount here. And even though it's April 21st and the market is not until mid-June, it is time to start prepping. So far all I've managed to get done is some of these rainbow tofu turtles. I have not brought these to a Pride Market in the past. I've only made one, but I figured it would do really well. I also normally make some rainbow bees, so that is also on the list. And then I have these 2 yarns that I really enjoy. So this one is called Dried Flowers. I currently have 2 skeins of this, and I feel like it's a nice subtle lesbian flag in terms of the colors. It's not perfect, but it reminds me of the lesbian flag. And then I also have, this one's called Smooth Sailing. And again, colors aren't perfect, but it is pink, blue, and white, so I figured it's a nice subtle trans flag. I've used these both in the past. I'm not entirely certain, but I believe this is all I have of this one, and it is partially used. So we've got a lot of work ahead of us, and hopefully we can get some Pride plushies done. Some other plushies I've done in the past have been some Pride flag jellyfish. So I make the top of the jelly white, and then the tentacles are going to be the colors of the flags. And those are also a nice subtle nod, because somebody might look at, for instance, the pansexual one and just see a blue, yellow, and pink jellyfish, when in fact it's a pansexual representation of a jellyfish. So I've got a lot of work ahead of me, and yeah, I'm sure this video will come out with still plenty of time for me to market prep for the Pride Market. So if you have other suggestions for plushies that I should make for market, drop them down in the comments. I try to have a good mix of as many flags as I can. I additionally have a lot of stickers that are great for my Pride Market. I have a bunch of frogs holding flags. I currently have 16 different flags, and then I have a bunch of puns, like I have a biceratops, which is a triceratops in the bisexual colors, and a lot of stuff like that. I'll link those down in the comments as well if you want to check out what flags I do have. I feel like I'm missing some things that I normally do. One thing that I enjoy doing, but I haven't decided if I'm going to do it yet this year, is I have a non-Dinosaur sticker. I'll put a picture up here. And for the past 2 years at this market, I've made a plushie version. And in 2023, it sold, I think, late in the first day. And then I had a couple people come back on day 2 and were sad it was gone. And I told them, you know, my plushies are made to order on my website, but nobody took me up on that offer. So then for 2024, I made 2. And I think they both sold on day 2, but I was getting nervous that they weren't going to sell. So maybe I'll bring one this year. I don't know. But there's lots of stuff for me to work on. I think I'm going to make a squid in this first. I know in the past I've made whales and squids in this. So I'm trying to think of what else I can do. But it's nice to only have 2 skeins to start the year off with. So I'm going to stop yapping and get to crocheting, and hopefully I've got some stuff to show you. the first finished squid. So I'm thinking I might try to go through this entire skein today. I'm also doing a challenge for April of how much yarn can I use, and we're nearing the end of April, so it'd be nice to add another skein on there. But this is the baby squid pattern from Plushie Co, and I also have the big squid. So I think I might make a big squid next, and a whale, and then maybe see how many more baby squids I can get out of the skein, if there's still some more skein left at that point. If somehow a mini squid, a big squid, and a whale take up the entire skein, then we'll crack open the second one, but I doubt it, so I will update you in a little bit. So I'm working on the big squid still, and I forgot just how big it is. So this is how much yarn I have left. I think I'll be totally fine to finish the squid, but in terms of getting a whale out of it, I think we'll finish off the skein, or at least get it most of the way finished. I was also thinking about what other plushies do well at the Pride Market, and last year I tried to focus on bringing and also making mostly Pride plushies, which I turned to regret. So last year, for January through April, I ended up getting a job just to kind of help me through the slow season, and I was also going on a 3-week-long trip to Europe in May, which I just wanted extra spending money for as well. So I was not as productive as I would have liked to have been, and for my market I sold, put the exact number up, but I sold a little over 3,000, and it nearly sold me out. So I definitely am trying to do much better this year. I spent the first couple of months fully just market prepping. That's all I've been doing. And I currently have, as of April 21st, a little over $5,000 of inventory for markets. And I have a May 9th market, which I do this market all the time. I usually average about $600 in sales. And then Memorial Day weekend, I have a huge 3-day long market, which I've never done before, but I am hoping to sell a couple $1,000s worth of inventory, because I spent almost $1,000 on my booth fee, which is hefty. But 2 weeks later is my Pride Market, so I am trying to have $8,000 of inventory by the Memorial Day market, ideally closer to $10,000. This will help me have some inventory to bring to the Pride Market. Also, because this year I am going to have a summer job. This job is not for financial reasons. Well, I am having a wedding, so it'll be nice to have some extra money to go towards that. And also just with the economy, you know, everyone needs extra money. But I'm not doing it because of the slow season. This job is something that I have been trying to get for a while. I did this job a couple of years ago when I still lived in Indiana. It's my absolute favorite job I've ever had. So I'm super stoked to have finally gotten the position. But it means it's going to be a little harder to restock between the Memorial Day market and the Pride Market, which is totally fine. Sorry my battery died, but I brought 5 chickens and 5 possums, I believe were my numbers, and they both sold out within the first hour. So I know I should probably bring quite a bit of possums and chickens with me. and I'm no longer doing single crochet around, so I have to actually count now. So I am almost to the eye step, and I'll probably have to make an eye. So I have the resin and all the stuff to make eyes. So I'll look through the ones that I've experimented on in the past, just because I'm still trying to find some cool colors. I'm planning to hopefully eventually sell resin sinker eyes, but I think I have this round and then one more round, yeah, and then I have the eyes. So I'll take you with me when I'm coloring the eyes. So give me just a second. All right, so this is where we're at so far. And unfortunately my resin eye stuff is a mess right now because I'm trying to move it inside my craft room. So I haven't yet like pulled it all out. But I'm interested to see, I got this new, I don't know if you're gonna be able to see with the glare, this new mica powder. So I need to find, oh, my eyes are in this box. So I'm gonna see which size eye I want for it. It's gonna be too small. Nope, too small. There's also a candle in here. Why is there a candle here? See, I'm thinking that size is going to be good. Whew. Okay, so it looks like I have one more set of that. And those are the backings for it. Okay. So I'm going to move you around so you can see the setup rather than me. Again, apologies for the messy setup. So I need gloves. Oh my goodness. Before I finish this, let me plug in my resin light and see if it reaches. Okay, I really need to organize in here, but it's not today's problem. This is 4 or 5 extra resin. I can make stitch markers, so I haven't yet attached the stitch marker part, but I'm curious to see how this works out. So this is the one I'm going to try. Oh. So there's a film over this. So that's fun. It looks kind of purple right now, but it has some multi-chrome to it. So I'm going to see what it looks like in the resin first and then pick a glitter color. the multi-chrome kind of disappeared. But I'm hoping once I keep going, it'll be better. So I think I'm going to put some pink in it. Oop, that was a lot. Okay. I'm not an expert on these eyes at all. I'm still learning how to do them, but I love multi-chrome and holographic, so I'm trying to bring that into these. So I have multi-chrome mica powder, holographic glitter, and I'm trying to find cool combos I can do. So I always make sure to do 2 coats, and I think I'll have just enough of what I mixed. I might have a little extra, but that's what the gummy bears are for the stitch markers. So I will show you the finished product when it's done. So this is what the finished eye looks like, and hopefully you still can't really see the green shift that it does. I can see it when I have it at an extreme angle for myself. But anyhow, let me put this inside the squid. When I get it at an extreme angle, I can get the green, but I don't know if it's going to pop up on camera. So this is that guy so far. And I think I just have the tentacles to go, which is going to take me a long time. But I'm starting to think after the tentacles I will not have enough for an entire whale, so it's a good thing I have a second skein. And here is the big squid finished next to the little squid, so definitely a difference in size as well as price. So I'm going to move on now because I am tired of tentacles. That guy took me much longer than it should have because I was procrastinating doing the tentacles. So I have this much of the skein left, so I think we're going to move on to the whale. And definitely won't finish the full whale, but it'll be very exciting to use an entire skein in one day. Apologies for the lighting. I think it's gonna rain here soon, and if I turn on my overhead light, it's worse. So I know for sure I've already showed you the different squids, but I figured I'd show you the rest that I've made so far. So I made a second of the mini squids, and I have a little bit left of this color, but I also just recently went to a bunch of Joann locations, so most of them have it stocked by a lot, so I can potentially go buy more if I want, and I haven't decided yet what to do with the rest of it. But I also made one whale, and this, making 2 small squids, a big squid, and a whale took about 1.5 skeins. And then my smooth sailing was perfect for making 2 of the big whales, and I have about 6 grams left, which doesn't really make anything. So we're making progress. Let me just put these down real quick. I also went through and finished the rest of the 9 rainbow tofus, so I have 20 in total now. And I gotta figure out what else I want to make. I already have one Triceratops plushie made out of Parfait Chunky done. I think that's as far as we've gotten on Pride plushie so far. It is April 24th, so we do have a little bit of time still until that Pride market, but it's always good to slowly start making that inventory. But I know I need to for sure make some rainbow bees. But I think I'm going to pivot for a little bit now and focus on making some plushies for the store I sell in. So I will update you once I have a little bit more Pride plushies done. Oh, and I forgot to mention, I found this really cool cover story yarn at my local Joann. So I think I want to make a whale with this possibly. The only issue is that this is thicker than Bernat Blanket and you need white with the whale. So either I need to double strand Bernat Blanket for the bottom of the whale, or I need to go buy some big twist plush in white if I could find that. But I have 2 skeins of this, and my local store did have some more. So depending on when I work this up, see if I like it, I can maybe go get some more. But that's the end of the update for now. And now I'm going to go back to restocking my store. It's been a couple days, but I have a little bit of an update. So I am testing out 2 different rainbow yarns. Now this one, I believe I showed you in the last clip. It is Cover Story in color rainbow, no surprise. I did notice when I was crocheting with it though, that it's 2 strands. So you could separate this if you wanted to, which I'm a little tempted to, but then it would be really thin yarn. But I used a size 8 hook with this, and I paired it with Big Twist White, which is slightly thinner, but it worked. And then I also used Big Twist Plush in color Crayon Box Variegated. At the moment, there is nowhere to buy this except if you get lucky at Joann. However, Hirschner's did announce recently that they are taking over Big Twist. They didn't announce which lines, but hopefully this is one of them. But I figured I'd show you the results. I'll start with Cover Story because I made that one first, and this is what the finished whale looks like. I am in love with this yarn, and it is taking everything in me to not march my little butt back over to my local Joann, which is the one I found this at, and just buy every last skein that they have. It will become harder come tomorrow when my store pays me, so I will have a little bit more in the bank account in terms of spending on yarn. So we'll see what I do. I do still have like 1.5 skeins left of this, but I am in love, and I think I'm going to make some squids with it and all of that. For some reason, when it comes to the Pride plushies, I always want to make whales and squids. I don't know why. So comment below ideas I should make with this rainbow yarn. Maybe a dinosaur would look cool. Crochet Grove just recently put out the cutest Brontosaurus pattern, and also released a mini Brontosaurus pattern. Ooh, maybe I'll do that. If you see it later in this video than I got to it. I just have a bad habit of always saying I'm going to make dinosaurs and then never doing it, even though I love making dinosaurs. But this is what the cover story looks like. I am in love. I get rid of the rest of my yarn. I just need this yarn forever. But it paired pretty well with the Big Twist Plush, and I'm very pleased with how that came out. And then this is what the Big Twist Plush looks like. I noticed both of these yarns go from red to purple, like in the rainbow, and then purple to red, and then red to purple, purple to red. So this does kind of look on the camera kind of stripy. At least in my viewfinder it looks very stripy, but in person it doesn't look as stripy. That's trippy to see in the viewfinder and then on here. But this is what that guy looks like. So he's covered in fluff because I just stuffed it. These whales do take quite a bit of stuffing. And I also used an 8mm hook on this. Let me grab my Bernat Blanket whales and see if there's a size difference. So yeah, there's definitely a size difference here. This was made with a 7mm and Bernat Blanket. So I have not yet done the math, but I have a feeling these are going to be a little more expensive. I don't know, I'll put it on the screen, but those are those two compared. Ugh. And then those two next to each other. The reason there would be a price difference is not because of size. I don't price based off of that, but I believe I used more yarn. Yeah, I used more yarn, so that's going to drive up the price, and then because this is bigger, it took more stuffing, so that'll drive up the price too. I did not time myself on how long it took, but theoretically it was the same amount of time for both items, so probably a couple more dollars due to material costs. So it's now been a couple of days since I last updated. However, I have not worked on any Pride related plushies. I have a market coming up. It will be actually the day that this video comes out is my market day. So I've been kind of focusing on that and working on a kiln load. Excitingly, I have not had a kiln load since January, so it'll be very nice to finally get one of those done, although glazing is taking forever. But I do have some really cool Pride flag mugs coming out, so keep an eye out for that. They look really cool so far, so I'm hoping after they're fired they still look really cool. But I'm really excited for those. But I figured since we're doing an update and I don't have anything to show you, I might as well show you this bad boy. I'm in love with this dino. This is the second of the big one I made. This is by Crochet Grove. Oh, I love it. Unfortunately though, it took me 2 hours to make, which I mean, I guess makes sense because look how big it is. But just thought I'd show you that. I also bought the miniature version, which comes out to a more decent size. I have not yet timed myself on how long that takes, but I did mention I'm thinking about doing a rainbow dinosaur, so hopefully I can get around to that here soon. But that would probably be in the smaller one because this guy is just so big and therefore pricey because of how long it took. I just weighed it. I weigh everything in grams and it came out to be 700 grams with all the stuffing, the yarn, the eyes, all of that. So it's quite a hefty guy, but I'm very excited for it. And I'm finally using some of my yarn brands I don't typically use. This was Sweet Snuggles Light, which I haven't used in 2-3 years. However, that was not this video, so I really hope you enjoyed some of the Pride plushies. Give me some ideas down in the comments. I do have a little more than a month to prep, so let me know any other ideas you have. I'll try to make a part 2 of this when I get around to making more. After my market that is on May 9th, I have a Memorial Day market which I feel plenty prepped for, so I think here soon I'll start focusing on those again. Maybe. We'll see where it all goes. I am starting my summer job this Saturday. I start training, so we're just experimenting with how everything's gonna go from here on. But thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed these. Let me know your favorite plushie I made in this video down in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!